Alaska might feel like it's at the ends of the earth, but this is a geostrategic fault line where the world's two biggest nuclear superpowers are separated by just 55 miles. This week, a handshake may bridge that divide. When President Putin lands at this airbase, he may feel he's barely left home. Alaska was Russian until the Tsar sold this vast wilderness to America in 1867. Today, that Slavic influence endures. In the Russian cathedral of Anchorage, tomorrow's summit has put this obscure community on a world stage.
And so if there is any hope of peace, we pray that it will be here in our sacred land. Politics does not matter in that case. Just end the suffering.
I'm glad that you're here.
John Stinton is the living embodiment of the deep links to Alaska's western neighbour. His family originally came from Russia. He worked there as a translator and now serves Russian food in Anchorage.
I think that there is a definite spiritual tie between Alaska and Russia, and that it is probably a thing that Putin is doing to show that Russians are still in Alaska.
Do you think you'd like Alaska back?
Yeah.
Yulia Maber fled to Alaska from Ukraine with her twins. Her social media charts her family's survival. Her parents and 83-year-old grandmother are still living near the front lines.
How are sort of your Ukrainian friends here greeting this? Is there a feeling of optimism that's growing around this summit?
I'd say cautious optimism, because everyone is hoping for the war to end, and everyone has got family back in Ukraine. Just like me, I have my parents and my grandmother living very, very close to the front line.
A community praying for an end to the war in this remote corner of America, where the links to Russia run deeper than many people realise. Dan Rivers, News at 10, Alaska.
And Dan joins us now from Anchorage. As you can see, Dan, the advanced delegations are already on their way. It looks like these talks are definitely on. Less than 24 hours before they start, what do you assess the chances of a deal is?
I think it's a deal that, tomorrow is pretty remote, frankly, without the Ukrainians' input. But I think what the White House is suggesting is that this is the gateway to further talks, a sort of a diplomatic track opening up that may yield some response and some results. The problem is, of course, then we get into the nitty-gritty of, well, OK, what are the mechanics of that deal? What land would be swapped, if any? Would the Ukrainians agree to that? How would the people swap work? What would happen to all the missing children, security guarantees and so on? And that's all the work normally that is done before you get to this point. I think from Vladimir Putin's point of view, he will be absolutely delighted with this. He has got a fantastic PR opportunity. You'll see the handshake with Donald Trump. It ends effectively Russia's diplomatic isolation, puts him back on the world stage. And the idea that this will then result in sort of more talks and then talks about further talks will be music to his ears. It will play for time for him and for Russia. They are making incremental progress in the Far East of Ukraine. And I think the longer that this goes on, the longer it is kicked into the long grass, I think the broader the smile on Vladimir Putin's face.